Hello crafters, this is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you enjoyed my previous foiling video sharing 7 various tips and tricks for working with hot foil systems. I'm very much into foiling these days, and it feels like I cannot finish a card without pulling out my Glimmer hot foil machine. I'm glad the tips I've shared were helpful, and I honestly cannot wait to see you guys put them to good use. If you happen to miss that video, there's a link to it right here in the cards and also in the video description down below. If you're not really into hot foiling, don't click away just yet. Do you like stamping? If you are a subscriber of mine, chances are you love stamping just as much as I do, if not more. Well, did you know you can do both regular stamping and hot foil stamping on one card? Better yet, you can layer the two stamping styles on your projects for some pretty impressive and one-of-the-kind results. Be advised, this video uses many of the tips I shared in my previous foiling tutorial, and I won't go into details much in this video. So if some things in regards to foiling are unclear, please check out my hot foil stamping tips video. Ever since I got to know hot foiling, I've been waiting to combine it with a regular stamping. I wanted to have pretty foiled shapes on my cards accompanied by beautiful stamped flowers and leaves. And today, I finally have a card and a tutorial to share that features both. Having picked the supplies I wanted to use for this card, and all of the supplies are listed in the video description below if you'd like to get any of these for yourself. So having picked the supplies, I planned my project out. When it comes to stamping and foiling, I have found that it is best to do stamping first and foiling later. You can certainly hot foil the image first and do your stamping as a second step over the foil. And this might actually seem like a more logical way to do things, but stamping over top the foiled image does distort the foil a little bit. Also, stamping over the foiled image will result in ink buildup on the surface of the foil. In this case, foil will resist the ink. That's a fantastic foil property that I'm yet to explore, as this will allow you to do some nice ink blending over the foiled backgrounds. But having that ink build on the surface of the foil creates the risk of smearing the ink onto the paper and messing up your stamping. So in my experience, it is best to do stamping first and foil the image later. But you certainly can go the other way around if you like. Right now, I'm showing you footage of a card where I did foiling first and stamping later. The card turned out okay. I like it. It looks great. But if you look at it very closely, you'll be able to see those imperfections. To eliminate those, I restamped the card, keeping all of my observations in mind. First, I did some planning by outlining the wreath glimmer plate on the surface of my paper. This will just give me an idea of the size of the wreath I want to stamp and will prevent me from stamping a wonky wreath or a wreath that is too big or too small for the glimmer plate I want to use over it. One of my all-time favorite stamp sets, floral layering sets, is the freehand florals from W+9. I've used it many times in the past, and it's just one of those sets that I will never ever purge and will always keep next to my desk. We all have stamp sets like that. They are just timeless and very near and dear to our hearts. This set features a lot of large florals, but also many smaller images that will work excellently for my wreath. While I'm stamping the wreath, I wanted to mention the glimmer plate I want to use. It comes from the Circle Pattern Glimmer Hot Foil set from Spellbinders, and there are 3 plates in that set. All are circles done in different sizes to help you either create wreath like the one I'm sharing today, or to adorn your die-cut circles or just backgrounds on your cards. These coordinate with many circle dies out there and will allow you to layer them to have beautifully foiled results. I'm using ink from Hero Arts to stamp my wreath, and I'm going from large size images to small. So first I've stamped the largest leaf cluster, next added the lavender clusters, and continue with numerous flowers in various size and colors. I'm sorry about the light in my video changing all the time. We had the most awful weather when I was filming this, with lots of rain, followed by bursts of sunshine and more rain immediately after. I intentionally picked the layered flowers to accompany my foiled wreath, and not just any layered flowers, but these, the freehand flowers, as I love this loose painted look. You just cannot go wrong when layering these images. Even if you stamp the layers completely wrong, they will somehow manage to look gorgeous and flawlessly layered on the finished card. I completed my summer wreath by adding numerous small leaves and flowers, and now I am ready to foil. I've placed the glimmer plate over top the wreath, and you can see it fits perfectly. All thanks to planning ahead and having that wreath pencil outline to begin with. To foil exactly where I need, I've made a hinge with washi tape and attached the glimmer plate to the paper. I'm using foil in polished brass. It's one of my favorite colors to foil with. I didn't show the actual foiling, but I have used my glimmer machine, and now I'm ready to peel the foil away and watch the magic happen. Isn't it beautiful? There's just nothing truly like this. You can have a similar look with heat embossing, but there's just something so very unique about the foiling. Now, in my previous video, I shared a tip called offset foiling. I'm going to apply it to this card as well, and offset and foil my wreath over. Now, I'm not going to have a shadow to my wreath. You can do that when you offset your foil plates. This time, I am offsetting my wreath to have a fuller wreath and have more leaves on the wreath. I actually simply want to have more of that beautiful foil show on my card. I've done the foiling and voila, double foiled wreath ready. Tell me this isn't gorgeous. If I had this system when I was getting married, I would totally stamp and foil all of my wedding invitations to look something like this. Now, this is not all of the foiling we're going to do today. I also have these gilded nested rectangles glimmer plates, and what's fun about those is that they also come with coordinating dies. So I can foil the rectangle shape, and I can also use the die to cut it out with a pretty border for my card. Think of this as using your stamps with coordinating dies, but instead of a stamp, you're using a plate. Here I'm once again using the hinge method to make sure everything is straightened. Once again, it foiled beautifully, and I'm ready to assemble my card. I've cut the panel out with the help of a coordinating die. I also created a dry embossed background for this card using Love Stripe embossing folder from Fun Stamper's Journey and purple cardstock. I've already adhered the background to an A2 card base, foam mounted the foiled panel, and now I'm working on a sentiment. I have previously foiled Shine Bright sentiment in same color foil. This sentiment comes from the Everyday Sentiments 2 set from Spellbinders, and it's one of those sets I cannot put down. I use it all the time for beautiful and classic sentiments for my cards. Having adhered everything in place, I also added some clear drops from Tonic Studios. Again, I'm sorry about the light in this part of the video. I had to make it dark so that you could see all of the foil shine in the light. Shine bright, isn't that sentiment so fitting for this card? Here's another card I made using the same supplies, but here I did my foiling first and stamping later. And I also foiled the wreath 3 times. I had more cards done and filmed during that crafting session, but I will share those some other time. Do you have a foiling system yet? Are you planning on getting one? Let me know in the comments below. I'd really love to know. And by the way, if you're looking for a discount for Glimmer Hot Foil Machine, you can have a 10% discount if you join the Spellbinders Glimmer Hot Foil Club. I have a link to that below. I hope you'll give this idea a try. If you do, share online and tag me. I always love seeing what you guys are making. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.